Here's my final learning presentation before we go on to the upgrade presentation. It's on how to compare M2 solid-state drives. This presentation in the series on how to upgrade a PC. A link to the online PowerPoint presentation is in the comment. Here's what an M2 solid-state drive looks like in the picture. We can see that it has some gold contacts on the right. This is different to a memory module which has gold contacts underneath. So moving on to the next slide. So what it says is this is a Samsung N70 Evo plus 1 terabyte NVMe M2 solid state drive. So Samsung N70 Evo is a make plus make 1 terabyte NVMe solid state drive is the size followed by the type. It's more expensive than the previous SA solid state drive we looked at, but the read and write times are only 7 times faster compared with the hard disk drive, which is the mechanical one, is 20 odd times faster. We can see that this increase from the read and write speeds in the stats in the gray table, which is sequential read and sequential write. These are 3,500 megabytes per second and 3,300 megabytes per second when compared with 540 megabytes per second read and 5,500 megabytes per second write of the SSD drives in the last presentation. It needs a special M2 slot to fit into the motherboard. Motherboard documentation will tell you if it has an M2 slot. For the extra money, it's worth it. The table below shows some performance indicators. Once you've read through this table, as an exercise, look up and compare the performance of an M2 solid-state drive with a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD add-in card. You should find the latter have double the read and write speed or more. On the table below, some useful performance measures. Like here we've got the DRAM cache. Cache comes along. Again, it's a predictive memory, so some work's being done to predict what item's going to be put into the memory next. And it's 1 gigabyte, whereas on this hard disk it was maybe 64 megabytes or 200 megabytes. So this is 4 times larger. The sequential read time is 3,500 megabytes per second, which is the number of bytes of data that can be read in a second. The larger the number is, the better. Sequential write time, 3,300 megabytes per second, which is the number of bytes of data that can be stored in a second. The larger this number is, the better. 4K random read, max is 600,000 IOPS. This is the number of times 4,000 bytes of data can be read in a second. The larger this number is, the better. The reliability is a measure of the time to failure, which is 1.5 million hours reliability. It's a measure of the time before the device fails in hours of use. That's all I wanted to say about this. Concluding my presentations on hard disk storage. So one on disk storage, which is long-term storage. And once you read through this table, as an exercise, look up and compare the performance of an M2 solid-state drive with an NVMe SSD add-in card, which is the 3rd generation of solid-state drives. It is much faster. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.